This video is the first video in a series of tutorials over the Object Debugger tool within COMOS. In this video, I will give you a brief overview of how to use the Object Debugging tool for debugging purposes and to write some code within COMOS. The tool is used to just write code and to develop code or to debug your code within COMOS and to fix it. Before we start, I just want to point out that not all of you will have the access to the Object Debugging tool. You can check that by going to the Extra menu and go down to Object Debugger. If this area is grayed out, you won't have access to this tool, and your administrator haven't granted you the rights, or in the user group that you are in doesn't have the right for the Object Debugging tool. But if you have it, you can just press on it and it will open up. This is the tool itself. We can see down here, there are already some code written. This code is not necessary for our tutorial and most of the times, so you can just delete it. In this area that the code were written in is the scripting area. Here you will write your code to be executed. Up here you will see some tools that we can use. So for example, we have the execute button. So when you have written your code and want to execute your code, you can press there. I won't go through every single one of them, but here we also have the comment out and uncomment button that will help you comment out and uncomment certain rows of your code that it won't affect your code anymore. That is really useful in debugging purposes. And this save button will save your code locally on your machine. It won't save the code within the Object Debugger because that is taken care of by itself. If you write some code, close the tool and open it up again, your code that you have written down here will still be available if you don't restart COMOS. Then we can go up to these three fields. We have the object fields, and these fields are for objects, as it's stated. Now, when I've dragged in the plant, I can use the plant in my code down here and set it as an object and use it later on. I can also use it in the expression field to write some smaller expressions and to get a result from that. All the results from this area down here or up in the expression field will be output in this result window. But to make it happen, we need to write a certain command that is output in COMOS. If we write output and then we write something that we want to happen or to be outputted, it will output it up here in the result window. So if we just make a super simple string, hello world, and we want to output it, we can press the execute button and it will output it for us up there. If we do also like this, a message box and hello moon, and then we don't want this output statement up here, we can just comment it out by pressing comment out button and then press execute. And the message box will present itself. It's a Windows message box with our string in it. This is really nice to have when you debug in different or in other places in COMOS where you are coding, for example, in queries or in scriptlibs. This is just a brief overview of how to use the object debugging tool within COMOS. In the next series, we will look into the different data types that are used within COMOS. All scripting language within COMOS is in VBScript, and we will, in the next installment, go through more of the different data types and how they interact within COMOS and how to use them. All linked videos in this tutorial, or all these tutorial videos that we have here, are linked in the description below. So check that out and follow along on this tutorial.